Ricky and I are a couple just putting on a show for everyone. In public, he acts like he loves me to death, even fights with other men over me. Behind closed doors, he can't stand me and keeps a pretty side chick. He calls her his wife, they wear wedding bands, and all his buddies call her sister-in-law. I don't cry or make a scene, I just delete the messages where he said he'd love me forever. We were each other's first love, tangled up for years. Then I got sick and started forgetting everything about him. He panicked, trying his best to surprise me with romance and help me get better. But all he could do was watch me fall for someone else. In the 7th year with Ricky, he met someone he truly liked. Her name's Emily, a fresh out-of-school actress. Sweet, innocent, and her smile reminded me of the younger me. Friends said Emily was my stand-in. Ricky probably just found her exciting for now, just a fling. After all, we went through breakups and makeups for years. Everyone saw how this proud guy laughed, cried, and broke down from Methy. All knew he loved me and only me. I suddenly remembered that night we got back together after a breakup. Ricky ripped my dress and kept taking from me endlessly, leaving me weak. In a daze, I heard him whisper, "We're gonna be tangled up and torment each other for life." I once thought Ricky would never love another woman like he loved me. Then, in our 3rd year of marriage, our relationship cracked. Emily showed up. At first, Ricky didn't like Emily. They were working on a set, playing a couple. Emily was his fan, always blushing, and her crush was obvious. Back then, our relationship was still good. Ricky would tell me he didn't like how Emily was crushing on him. She'd wear cartoon shirts, and he'd call it childish. She'd wear hot shorts, and he'd call it tacky. Whatever she did, he found annoying. But maybe even he didn't know he was smiling whenever he talked about her. During our nightly calls, he started to zone out. Mostly because Emily was so clueless, always asking Ricky all sorts of questions. She'd complain but still patiently answer every one. Before hanging up, I asked Ricky, "Can we not talk about Emily tomorrow?" He gave a sly grin and asked, "Are you jealous?" He teased me while blocking Emily's number. A few days later, Emily posted on Facebook, a steamy kiss scene with 2 passionate people. "Can't sleep tonight. Gonna chat all night with my crush." That night, Ricky didn't call me. When I tried, his line was busy. I realized that maybe this time, his act with Emily had turned real. After that night, Ricky seemed to stop loving me. We got into a silent fight. No explanations or making up. For a whole month, we ignored each other. Until the rap party, during a live interview. A reporter asked him, "What do you want to do now?" He opened his phone to show a pic of me in an apron, pouting, and said, "I just want to see my wife and eat her cooking." In a way, Ricky's my sugar daddy. He stopped loving me, so I kept my feelings locked up, listened to him, and thought making money was good. That night, I cooked a feast, but he didn't come home. I went to bed early, and he called in the middle of the night. Sounded drunk, whining. "I miss you. Come get me." Tears welled, but I stayed silent. His buddies chimed in, asking, "Is it Emily?" They joked, "Ricky said he wants to be with you forever." So he called Emily. She was already in his life. I suddenly felt a terrible headache, hung up, and buried myself in the covers. "It's fine. I can pretend not to care, I've always been good at acting." Our issues spread quickly. People said he was in love with Emily. He'd take her on candlelit dinners, buy her houses and cars, even rent out amusement parks to ride the carousel with her. He adored her and wanted to give her everything good in the world. Even that ruby necklace I had wanted but couldn't get was recently bought by Ricky. I thought he'd give it to Emily. But one morning, there it was, next to a note on my bedside, "Happy anniversary," in his handwriting. I quietly crumpled the note and tossed it. I didn't understand Ricky anymore, and I didn't want to. A few days later, I met Emily at a private party. She smiled at me, glancing at my necklace, and softly said, "Ricky bought me a bunch of jewelry. I thought this necklace was a bit old-fashioned, so I told him to give it to you." I knew it, summer. You're more mature than me. That necklace suits you just right. Ricky told me he treats me like a kid, and I wasn't happy about it. I mean, I'm 22, not a child. But compared to you, Summer, I suddenly feel like I'm really young. I went silent, feeling a bit ridiculous. The wedding anniversary gift I cherished turned out to be something Emily didn't want. When she saw I was upset, Emily just laughed more sweetly. She tossed her hair and kept flaunting, "Come on, Summer, no need to be shy with the necklace. Wear it proudly. Ricky gets me so much stuff I can't wear it all. If there's anything you like, just let me know and you can have it." I laughed with her and quietly asked, "So if I like something, you'll just give it to me?" Emily nodded confidently. I reached out, touched the shining diamond earring on her ear and suddenly jerked it off. Emily screamed, bending over holding her ear, blood trickling through her fingers. I looked down at her, still smiling, and softly asked, "Thanks for the gift. How about the other earring?" Emily's eyes trembled, she seemed a bit scared of me. Blood was splattering everywhere, causing a commotion around us. Ricky soon arrived. When he saw the blood, his eyes turned cold and harsh. He pulled me into his arms, checking me over. The care and concern in his eyes seemed almost real. Emily let her hand drop, letting the blood flow onto her white dress. She reached for Ricky, softly saying, "Ricky, it hurts." Ricky dodged her touch and gave her a cold look. That look left Emily stunned, biting her lip in discomfort. She didn't understand it yet. Ricky came from a wealthy family. Having a fling is one thing, but causing a public scene is embarrassing. In front of others, Ricky could only love me. His fingers smoothed my furrowed brow. "Who upset you?" he gently asked. I stayed quiet, and silence filled the room. 2 seconds later, Ricky picked up a nearby vase and smashed it on the floor, angrily shouting, "Is everyone deaf? Who upset my wife? Speak up." The atmosphere was suffocating. Emily clenched her fists and screamed, "It was me, okay? All my fault, Ricky." Tears streamed down, and she stubbornly looked at Ricky, choking back sobs. "It's my fault I wanted to be close to Summer, only to be disliked. My fault I fell for someone I shouldn't have, willing to be called a mistress just to be with him. It's my fault for being so delusional, thinking he liked me too. I'm just a fool." She raised her wine glass over her head and poured it out, mixing with her blood, staining her dress red as she cried. She asked Ricky, "Is this enough? Your beloved wife, is she satisfied now?" Ricky's grip on my shoulder tightened. Probably felt sorry for her. He asked me, "Are you satisfied?" I couldn't help but laugh, almost in tears. I asked, "Isn't it tiring to pretend to love me, Ricky?" I suggested a solution: give me money, a lot of money, and then we can divorce. Ricky's eyes grew icy. He whispered harshly in my ear, "Summer, I should have seen it. You're just a gold digger. You'll never have true happiness." I smiled, pushed him away despite the headache, and walked off. "Ricky, you're such a jinx. I haven't told you, the doctor says there's something wrong with my head. Could get painful, might make me forget things, or even die." Ricky was right. Initially, I was after his money. Before him, I was in love with another guy. Ricky knew all this but still tried hard to be with me. From dating to marriage, I remember the rainy day Ricky proposed. We were cuddled up on the couch watching a rom-com. Out of nowhere, he whispered, "Summer, just say you love me and I'll marry you right now. All my money will be yours." My heart pounded. Those 3 little words almost tumbled out of my mouth. But it seemed kind of casual, you know. Who proposes like that? So, I shook my head, teasing him. Back then, Ricky was shameless. He pulled out a huge diamond ring from who knows where, slipped it onto my finger. I tried to get away, but he grabbed my neck and pinned me to the couch, biting my ear as he threatened, "Keep it up and I'll choke you." That day, his kisses nearly melted me. I pleaded under him, telling him again and again, "Ricky, I love you. In the past, I truly did love you. But it seems like you never actually believed it. My condition got worse day by day. Taking lots of meds didn't help. My headaches were so bad I couldn't eat or sleep soon. I noticed I was starting to forget little things about Ricky. My health deteriorated, and the doctor gave me more pills. Upon leaving, he asked why I always came alone. "Where's your family? You need their support." But I have no family. What was I supposed to do? When I was 6, my mom left me on the street, telling me she was going to get candy. She never came back. I thought I'd never see her again, until I ran into Emily at the hospital. Her ear, swollen and bandaged, was being tended to. With her was a middle-aged woman. I almost thought my eyes were playing tricks on me. That woman looked like my mom. I ran over to her uncontrollably, and Emily stepped back, scared. My mom protected her and pushed me away hard, pointing at my nose and cursing, "You bitch, are you trying to bully my daughter?" She suddenly grabbed my hair and yelled, "Touch my daughter, and I'll kill you." She slapped me, and I didn't dodge in time. Blood trickled from the corner of my mouth, and tears started streaming down my face. It was like she didn't recognize me. She had long forgotten me. She had another daughter. Emily was her daughter now. Actually, when I was 13, I randomly ran into my mom while I was picking up plastic bottles on the street. She was across the road, holding Emily's hand, chatting and smiling warmly. I used all my strength to run toward her, shouting, "Mom, I'm right here. Mom, don't go." She paused and turned back slowly, looking at me somewhat surprised. Emily tugged at her clothes, sneering at me, "Mom, it's a beggar, how dirty. We are both Mom's kids." But she wore a pretty little dress, holding a cute plush bear. And I wore torn old clothes and a pair of worn-out dirty shoes. I was so envious. I quietly muttered, "I'm not a beggar, I'm Summer." I reached out my hand with an awkward smile. Emily suddenly cried. She hid behind my mom, yelling, "Mom, get rid of her. She wants to take my teddy bear." My mom realized and quickly shoved me. Back then, just like now, she pointed at my nose and lashed out, "Where did this stray kid come from? Scaring my precious, I'll beat you." No, Mom. I'm not a stray kid, I'm your precious too. I didn't cry and call after Mom like I did when I was 13. I pushed her back hard, just as she had done to me before. She took the chance to pull off my mask, collapsing onto the ground, crying, "The star hit someone, Summer hit someone." Emily was stunned for a couple of seconds, then suddenly took off her mask and kneeled in front of me, pleading, "Summer, I know you never liked me. You're more famous, and even when you hit me or yelled at me, I held it in. But my mom's old, please don't make it harder for her." A lot of people started filming us. Emily sure was putting on quite the show. I should protect my reputation, cover my face, and leave immediately. But I couldn't help it. I grabbed Emily's hair. I looked into her eyes, coldly saying, "You're such a good, obedient kid. Then I won't hold back. However your mom hit me, I'm giving it back to you." I swung my bag at Emily's face, once, then twice. My heart hurt so much. If I didn't let it out, I might have found a rooftop to jump off. Life is so painful. My mom clawed at me. Maybe when she realized I'm the kid she abandoned, she would never forgive me. But it's okay, Mom. You don't want me, and I don't want you either. The video of me hitting Emily spread online quickly. People flooded my page, cursing, "Are you jealous that Emily's younger and prettier? Hitting her face so hard. Someone should check Summer's background, seems like a bully raised spoiled, like she grew up evil. Emily, don't cry. I know where Summer lives, I'll give her a piece of my mind for you." I saw this comment while I was in the parking garage, having just parked, about to head home. Suddenly, someone called out, "Are you Summer?" I turned around to find a man holding a baseball bat, eyes fierce as he swung it towards me. I didn't have time to react before someone yanked me into a hug. Ricky held me tight as the bat smacked his back hard. He kicked the man, yelling, "Touch my wife, and I'll kill you." Ricky went berserk, beating the guy senselessly. For a moment, I almost forgot we were getting a divorce, thinking maybe he really did care for me. But I've already forgotten what it was like when Ricky loved me. Ricky hasn't been home in ages. He only came back because of Emily. The house was a mess. I'd been dealing with migraines daily, too exhausted to clean. Ricky rolled up his sleeves and started tidying up. He picked up my bra from the sofa, joking, "Summer, you're hopeless as a wife. You should learn from Emily. She's so caring, how could you be so mean to her? Apologize, she's been crying every day. It breaks my heart." "Yeah, because Emily's sweet, Mom loves her." "Because Emily's sweet, so Ricky loves her too." "What about me? Because I'm not sweet enough, should I be abandoned time and again?" I suddenly got so angry, throwing all the clothes Ricky folded onto the floor. Looking up to him, I yelled, "You want me to apologize to her? You might as well stab me." Ricky leaned back on the sofa, pulling me into his arms, locking me in so I couldn't escape. He laughed, scolding, "Knew you'd never listen. Always such a brat." He pulled out his phone, called the film festival committee, and asked them to take me out from the year's Best Actress nomination. I've been in the industry for 10 years, nominated 3 times without a win. Finally, this year, the award was within my reach. For this award, I fell down a slope and split my head open but refused a body double to finish the film. That glittering trophy was something I earned at great cost. And knocked the phone from Ricky's hand, a tear landing on my arm as I cursed him. "Stop being so low, Ricky." Calmly, he rested his chin on my shoulder, asking with a smirk, "You sure you won't say sorry? Think carefully about it." I couldn't hold back anymore. I started crying. I shouted at him, "Ricky, I'm sick. I can't act anymore. I'll never win an award again. You love Emily. You wanted to get back at me, but I won't make her happy. I won't say sorry. It's just an award. I don't care anymore." Tears streamed down my face, my heart full of unspoken frustration, and I grabbed Ricky's hand, biting it hard. He furrowed his brow, silently enduring it. When I finally stopped crying and looked up, Ricky's eyes were red too. He held my face gently and whispered, "Summer, it's not that I love Emily, it's that I hate you. I used to love you so much, but all you cared about was my money. You took my money to support another man. You've got some nerve, but if there's someone to blame, it's me for being so pathetic. I knew you were good at playing the victim, yet I still fell for it and got soft. Stop crying. It's just a trophy. You can have it." He pulled me into his arms and kissed my ear. It felt like a goodbye when he said slowly, "Summer, this is the last time I'll be good to you." But this time, Ricky lied to me. On the awards night, I wore my most glamorous dress and most expensive jewelry, hoping for a grand farewell. But the host announced on stage, "Best Actress, Emily." Caught in a rise-up moment, I was ready to stand, but it turned into a joke captured by the media. Emily held the glittering trophy, smiled at Ricky, and cooed, "The person I like promised me that if I won tonight, he'd come meet my mom. She was so lucky. She had everything I wanted. Mom. Ricky. And that trophy, which I'd never get." Ricky leaned in close, giving me a cruel smile. He asked, "Summer, how does it feel to be deceived?" He was getting back at me, never believing me, not when I said I loved him or when I said I was sick. My head was pounding again. The last time I looked at Ricky, he started to blur in my eyes, in my mind, in my memory. Clutching my chest, I whispered, "Being lied to hurts so much." I blinked and asked him, "But, who are you?" I passed out at the award ceremony. When I woke up, I was in a hospital, and my agent Linda was arguing with Ricky. She pointed at me, glaring at Ricky, who sat on the sofa, and demanded, "What did Summer ever do to you for you to hurt her like this?" Ricky tossed photos across the room. In the photos, I was in another man's arms. Linda hesitated, and Ricky mocked her, "Why aren't you talking, feeling guilty? When Summer was hugging that guy, did she ever think she was hurting me?" When she spent my money to send him overseas for college, did she think of my feelings? Linda interrupted him. Why didn't you ask Summer directly about these things? Ricky laughed bitterly, grinding his teeth. From dating to marriage, I chased after her like a dog. I always had to apologize first, make up first. Now she cheats. Should I ask why she doesn't love me anymore? Did I not do enough? Am I that pathetic? I'm not short of women. Plenty of them can sweet talk. But Summer was the first to deceive me. She deserves it. Before Ricky could finish, someone burst through the door and punched him in the face. The guy adjusted his wrist, looked down at Ricky, and calmly introduced himself. I'm Henry, Summer's first love. Ricky instantly recognized him as the guy holding me in the photos. The same one I had funded to study abroad. In a flash, two men in suits were brawling on the floor. Linda shouted, Ricky, enough. Henry is Summer's primary doctor. He held Summer because she was terrified after her diagnosis, crying and calling you. But because of a fight the day before, you hung up on her. Where were you when she needed you most? Who are you to lose your temper here? Ricky paused, and in that moment of hesitation, Henry knocked him to the ground. Ricky sat there, disoriented, mumbling, when did Summer ever call me? He didn't know I called because that day, Emily answered his phone instead. When I was in tears, desperate for Ricky to come home, Emily laughed on the other end. Sick? Serves you right. She hung up on me, and I froze with my phone in hand, too stunned to call back. Ricky was always big on privacy. I used to be the only one who could touch his phone. But later, Emily could play with it too. I realized I was no longer his only person. He let his attention stray in our love, and I couldn't forgive that. From then on, I slowly started planning my revenge. When I woke up, the first thing I did was tug on Henry's sleeve. Frowning, a bit annoyed, I scolded, Henry, you hooligan, fighting again. Henry and I were childhood sweethearts growing up together in the orphanage. He was always the fiercest fighter there. The reason for fighting, 9 times out of 10, was me. Looking at his bruised fist, I asked, does it hurt? Ricky stepped forward, grabbed my wrist, and pried my hand away from Henry's clothes. Clenching his anger with a smile, he asked, Summer, who are you concerned about? Your man's right here. I looked back at him and slowly withdrew my hand, questioning, am I married? Ricky's expression shifted. He placed a hand on my head, ruffling my hair with a smile. Still trying to trick me? Summer, have you had enough of those sneaky tricks you learned in the orphanage? No, I hadn't had enough, of course not. Not when I was the devious Summer. Linda tossed my medical report at Ricky. My condition led to selectively forgetting certain people and things. Ricky struggled to accept that I remembered Linda, Henry, even unimportant bits of my life. The only thing I forgot entirely was anything to do with him. He didn't believe I was really sick, so he got a bunch of expert teams to check on me, and the results always let him down. He stayed by my bedside all night, and sometimes I'd hear him crying. I opened my eyes and saw him sitting on the couch, holding my diary. In that diary, I had written about how Ricky started losing feelings for me. March 26, 2023, the first thing Henry did when he returned to the country was call me for a health checkup. I used to have headaches all the time when I was young. Henry said he wanted to be a doctor and would surely cure my headaches. He finally made it, and I'm happy for him. But it's annoying. I'm scared that I'm actually sick. I'm not afraid of dying, I'm just worried about Ricky. He's such a clingy person, and he'd surely cry. That would break my heart. Got the test results in March 2023, and they weren't good. I said I wasn't scared, but I ended up freaking out and cried while calling Ricky. Emily, the lead actress in his new drama, answered. She's quite sweet looking, but she has a sharp tongue. She said I deserve to be sick. She must like Ricky, so she doesn't like me. March 2023, I asked Ricky how it felt working with Emily. He listed a ton of her flaws. He's been observing her closely, knowing she likes Sailor Moon, milk tea, and wearing super short skirts with black stockings. I got a bit mad. Ricky seems to like Emily, but he doesn't realize it. Hopefully, I'm just overthinking. March 26, 2023. Had some delicious spicy fish today. Ricky loves spicy food. I said I'd take him there when he got home. He suddenly mentioned Emily again, saying he had spicy fish for lunch, and Emily asked him if it was spicy. He joked it wasn't, and gave her a piece to try, making Emily cry from the heat. He thought it was funny. Funny? Then why do I feel so hurt? April 3, 2023, didn't pick up any of Ricky's calls these days. April 4, 2023, had treatment at the hospital today. When it hurt the most, Henry was there with me. But I couldn't help thinking of Ricky. Saw Emily's Facebook tonight. She said she kissed Ricky and that they'd chat all night. I called Ricky, and of course, the line was busy. I was going to tell him about my illness today. Forget it. He doesn't care about me anymore. April 28, 2023, he hasn't contacted me, and I haven't contacted him. That's fine. I'll just think of him as an ATM from now on. May 8, 2023, Ricky wrapped up filming. He said he missed his wife and wanted me to cook for him. But I can't remember what he likes to eat anymore. Lately, it feels like everything about Ricky in my head is being erased bit by bit. I checked our chat history and saw that he likes spicy food and spicy fish. Followed a recipe to make it, and ended up burning my hand. But Ricky never came home at night. He called me at midnight, mistaking me for Emily, kept calling me wife, and even his friends joined in calling Emily. Turns out the one he misses is Emily, and he wants her cooking. Sick of it. Don't want him anymore. Ricky closed the diary, saw I was awake, and smiled gently. His beard's grown out, making him look scruffy. Not a good look. I told him, don't come tomorrow. We're not in love anymore, no need to act like you care. Aren't you into that, Emily? Start getting ready for a divorce, I'll make room for her. Ricky grabbed my face, shook it a little, and angrily said, who said I like Emily? I only love Summer, remember that. Before he was just trying to annoy me after seeing me hugging Henry, making him furious. Before being with Ricky, I told him I liked someone else. Ricky said it was fine, he just saw I needed money and wanted to help, like a sugar daddy. The kind who spoils you. When Henry got a chance for a study exchange abroad, that was the first time I shamelessly asked Ricky for money. He agreed without hesitation and never asked why. Until recently, he dug into the past about me and Henry due to a hugging photo. Actually, we're just two orphans who rely on each other. If there's anything to say about it, I once loved Henry, and he said I deserved someone better. Ricky, humble as can be, apologized, sorry for misunderstanding. Let's not get divorced. I'll make sure you get better. When you remember, you can yell and hit me all you want, but remember one thing, Summer, don't forget me. Don't forget me, please. His eyes were red, looking pitiful. I suddenly laughed and asked him, though I can't remember you, Ricky, maybe it's that you never truly believed in me. Because I'm an orphan, grew up in an orphanage, nobody to teach me, so you love me but look down on me, thinking I'm naturally low and filthy. Ricky looked pained and denied, no. I just stared at the ceiling, calmly telling him, Ricky, anything that can be forgotten isn't important. I don't want you anymore. When I mentioned divorce, Ricky thought I was just being childish. He took me to a restaurant I love, walked the tree-lined path we used to enjoy, and recounted all those little times we both loved each other. But I still couldn't remember any of it. One summer evening, Ricky took me to the park we used to visit. He found a quiet spot for us to chill out. He handed me a cold bottle of soda, smiling, your favorite, lemon flavor. I shrugged and said, I don't like lemon anymore. I don't like this place either. He looked a bit sad, and carefully asked, what do you like now? Tell me, I'll get it for you next time. I checked my phone. It was getting late. Henry was coming to pick me up for a concert. He waved at me from the end of the path, holding my favorite strawberry soda. Ricky frowned immediately. I tried to stand, but he held my arm, not letting me move. Don't go, Summer. Don't go with him. He kept repeating those words. I warned him, Ricky, you can't control my life. I told you I wanted a divorce, but you refused. You told me all you see are our good memories when you close your eyes. But those memories? I don't remember them. You can't use your memories to tie me down. I need to move on with my life, without you. Besides, the past wasn't all that great. I pried open Ricky's fingers. He looked scared, like a child afraid of losing something, following me step by step. Henry didn't even glance at him, just lifted a pink fan to cool my damp bangs and sweaty nose. He knew I couldn't stand the heat. Ricky saw the tickets in his hand and blocked me again. Summer, that band's too loud for you. Let's not go, okay? I'll play piano for you instead. Henry was annoyed. He pushed Ricky aside and snapped, stop acting like you're some romantic hero. You don't know crap. You think everything she likes is the same as what you like. Let me tell you. She hates silence, hates summer, hates being hot, hates parks, hates lemon, hates the piano, and now, she hates you. That night, I sang loudly with the band I loved, Goodbye, Youth. The next morning, I woke up to find myself trending online. Summer cheating was at the top. A video showed me with a beer, arm around Henry. Emily slyly posted on Facebook calling me dirty, with a picture of rotting cabbage. A woman who doesn't respect herself is like rotten cabbage. Ricky then posted a few gifs from the concert last night, showing my side profile, laughing freely. He said, all a misunderstanding. I was there too last night. First time at a concert with my wife, she was so happy, jumping around like a bunny with a strawberry. Turns out she likes crowds, loves singing, loves laughing out loud with people. Let's go to more concerts together, okay? I'll learn to love what you love. I didn't know Ricky was there the whole time. He wanted an answer, but I didn't reply. Public opinion flipped instantly. People swarmed Emily's Facebook, shouting, just friends at a concert, and she's a rotten cabbage for an arm around someone? Emily, you cozying up to Ricky in those show clips, is that workplace harassment? This Emily stole Summer's award, used Summer's name to debut, then claimed to be young while shading Summer's age. By noon, I posted a story to explain my relationship with Henry. I started from being an orphan, how he used to protect me, how my mom abandoned me, how she put Emily first, pushed me away time and again. Why did I lose my temper and hit Emily? I shared an old photo, showing my mom holding me, neither of us smiling. Emily and my mom appeared in a reality show. Attentive viewers noted, her mom was my mom. It blew up online. Everyone flooded Emily's Facebook, cursing her mom. Emily immediately shut her page down. 2 days later, my mom wrote a long post on her Facebook. She admitted losing a daughter because of her recklessness, and cried every day, even considered suicide. She said Emily gave her reason to live. Emily's her angel, her most precious treasure. As for me, if I am her daughter, she never thought I'd grow into someone full of lies. She felt guilty, hurt by her failure as a mom. If I'm not, she wished to know where my photo came from, missed her child, wanted to hug her, say, I'm sorry, mom's late. I quietly turned my phone off. So fake, so disgusting. Honestly, it's been too long since my mom abandoned me. Using the law to punish her is near impossible. But it's okay, Ricky's eager to win me back. He'll deal with everyone I despise. In the following days, Emily's scandals exploded online. Her affairs before debut, cursing fans, acting cozy with male stars. Her mom was taken away for illegal gambling investigation. She called, begging me, save your mom, let your husband save us. Emily called him, but he won't pick up. Mom searched for you many years, finally found you, never got to be good to you. Mom misses you so much, don't you miss your mom? You can't just watch us suffer. I'm your mom. I listened quietly to her sobbing, and softly said, Mom, your daughter's gone. You should join her, go to hell, and be with your daughter there. I hung up, smiling. Ricky leaned against the couch, closed the book in his hand, and asked me, why are you so happy? He tried hard to act cool, but the uneasy look in his eyes gave him away, like a puppy eager for a treat. He pulled me to sit next to him, leaning his tired head on my shoulder, pleading, "Summer, I'll be so good to you, so good that you'll fall back in love with me, okay? Don't leave me, and don't fall for someone else." 3 months flew by, yet whenever I mentioned divorce, Ricky acted like he didn't hear a word I said. The good news is, my condition finally stabilized. Once a month, I had to undergo treatment. It was always the most exhausting day. Ricky drove me to the hospital. Henry waited at the entrance, opening the car door to help me out. We'd walk side by side to the elevator, and Ricky would always catch up just in time to squeeze between us. With 2 grown men yammering away in my ear, each determined not to be out-talked by the other, I felt like slapping them both. I fished a candy out of my pocket and popped it into Henry's mouth to shut him up. He munched the candy smugly, flaunting it in front of Ricky. Ricky tugged at me, sulking a bit. "Do you have more?" "I want some too." Actually, I had plenty. I turned back, smiled apologetically at him, and said, "They're all for Henry. He has several surgeries this afternoon, and I'm worried he might get low blood sugar." Ricky's expression turned somber for a moment before he mustered a smile and ruffled my hair. "You're as thoughtful as ever, just like before. I wouldn't give up such a great wife for anything. Summer, you're going to get better, and so will we." I stayed silent, and in an elevator with only 3 people, the silence felt that much lonelier. I kept waiting for Ricky to run out of patience and willingly divorce me. I didn't expect that day to come so suddenly. As the elevator doors opened, I saw Emily rush in, brandishing a fruit knife, screaming like a madwoman, "You all should just die." Emily's reputation was in ruins, with brands canceling contracts left and right, leaving her bankrupt. She had probably gone insane. I quickly tugged Henry aside, leaving Ricky alone. He tried to shield me, and Emily's knife stabbed him in the shoulder. The chaos erupted so fast and so suddenly that by the time everyone reacted, Ricky was already on the ground. His gaze lingered on me. I saw the light in his eyes, the light that believed I loved him, flicker out. Ricky and I agreed to divorce. He gave me a lot of money, and I took it all. He cheated during the marriage, so it was what I deserved. When I saw Ricky again, he looked terribly worn out. Word was, the knife hit a critical spot, and his heart suffered serious damage, needing a lifetime to heal. I didn't care to worry about him. I didn't want to do anything unnecessary. Secretly, I was anxious he'd change his mind and not go through with the divorce. A legal battle would be a headache, and I might not even get as much money. But he just silently bowed his head, signed the papers, and pressed his fingerprint. As we parted, Ricky seemed to muster the courage to look at me one last time. He tried to smile, but tears suddenly streamed down his face. He clutched the divorce papers tightly, crumpling them into a ball. I saw he was about to say something, but I didn't want to hear it. Waving goodbye to him, I turned and got into Henry's car. In the rearview mirror, Ricky's figure grew smaller and smaller. Henry grinned and teased me, "You've got the harshest heart of all women." I laughed too. I can love someone completely and utterly, and I can also hate a person by any means necessary. "Ricky, I have a secret I'll never tell you. I lost my memory. I faked it.